I am pleased to welcome you once again to this forum, and in particular, my colleagues, ministers of foreign affairs, who are joining us today. It is a great honor and privilege to be part of this joint meeting between the Ministers of Foreign Affairs and Ministers of Agriculture. Our joint agenda is to review the outcome of the deliberations of yesterday's meeting that brought together policymakers and experts as well as various stakeholders on Africa fertilizer and soil health. Our deliberations today therefore will aim to consolidate the key outcomes and commitments that will be geared to address the widespread and long-decade decline in soil quality, a phenomenon that continues to negatively impact Africa's agricultural production capacity and food security. You will recall that the Abuja Declaration adopted in June 2006 positioned fertilizer as a vital strategic resource to increase crop yields and to address the associated impacts of food insecurity and low income for small-scale farmers. Since its adoption, low agricultural productivity, food insecurity, and land degradation remain the foremost among the key challenges hampering Africa's ability to provide sustainable food and nutrition security to its people. It is therefore befitting that this summit is convened at this juncture for the continent to take decisive steps to sustainably increase agricultural productivity while mitigating the fertilizer-related contributions to climate change. Africa has set multiple goals under Agenda 2063, the Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program, CAADP, the Malabo Declaration, and Africa's climate change strategy to increase agricultural productivity and production. These goals focus on environmentally sustainable and climate-resilient production, improved water productivity and security, biodiversity conservation, and sustainable natural resource management. A crucial requirement for achieving these goals is to improve soil health in all agricultural and subsectors across the continent through a combination of sustainable agricultural practices and approaches. I am happy to note that Kenya has embarked on a program to boost its agricultural sector by providing small-scale farmers with subsidized fertilizers at half the commercial prices to cushion them against high costs of fertilizer. It is my conviction, therefore, that all the AU member states are embarking on implementing various strategies to address the challenges of sustainable food production and hence the importance of addressing usage of fertilizer and soil health. The importance of agriculture in our economies cannot be gainsaid. Here in Kenya, the agricultural sector contributes approximately a third, that is 33%, of Kenya's gross domestic product, and employs over 40% of the total population, including 70% of the rural population. Therefore, the outcomes of this discourse on fertilizer and soil health will positively impact the agricultural sector and ultimately the economy. Your Excellencies, I take this opportunity to appreciate the deliberations from the report by the Ministers of Agriculture. We take note of the challenges faced in the operationalization of the Abuja Declaration and call for concerted efforts towards implementing the 10-year action plan that we will endorse. This will guide our policies and investments to enhance soil health, boost fertilizer effectiveness, and increase farmers' yields and profitability. Our joint meeting will deliberate on the draft Nairobi Declaration with a view to making appropriate recommendations for consideration and adoption by the heads of state and government during the extraordinary summit that Kenya is pleased to host. In this regard, it is my hope that the declaration will capture the aspirations of the stakeholders in the agriculture sector, and in particular, the small-scale and marginalized farmers who constitute the majority across Africa. We should also put in place affirmative action for inclusivity of women and youth. It will ensure the realization of Agenda 2063's comprehensive African Agriculture Development Program goals, which envisage the elimination of hunger and reduction of poverty by raising economic growth through agriculture-led development. The Nairobi Declaration will therefore provide a concrete action plan for ensuring sufficient, nutritious, and quality African-produced food on our tables across the continent. Indeed, this will significantly reduce the bill on foreign food imports and dependence, thus freeing much-needed resources for investment in other productive sectors of our economy. I urge development partners, financial institutions, private sector, and all stakeholders to rally behind the collective outcomes of this summit and support the financing for implementation of various activities of the Nairobi Declaration Action Plan. Let me conclude by emphasizing the importance of our collective efforts to effectively address the common challenges that continue to strain our already dire food security situation. I wish to reiterate Kenya's commitment to work closely with the African Union member states and all relevant stakeholders to ensure the objective of the action plan are realized. I wish you successful deliberations, and thank you once again.